Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are located. We are here for another week of Pro-Am action. This time at Oulton Park, Wellington Jimenez, and joined yet again by pro driver Patrick Leger.
Hello, Wellington. Lovely to be here once again. How are you doing so far? Wellington?
Pretty good. I'm really excited for the race tonight. As we know, Oulton is, another one of those tight and twisty circuits, very similar to Valencia, but instead of the track limits consequences, the consequence is going to be grass and potentially a wall.
Well, in my opinion, whenever you hit a patch of grass with one of your wheels, you instantly hit a wall because the grass, especially on this track, is so slippery. It's basically game over when you hit the grass, so the drivers here has to be super careful today.
Yeah, and we saw in the Discord that you aren't very fond of this track, but what can we expect to see from the Pro-Am drivers tonight?
Looking how chaotic Monza was at times last week, I expect even more chaos because, like I said, the margin of error is even smaller there than it is in Monza. So I think we will potentially see a lot of upsets.
And we know that, very similar to Coda, the track limits here at Oulton Park are extremely strict, and instead of being the curb, it's the white line. So, just kind of give me an over-under of how many drive-throughs we're going to see, at least in the feature race.
I expect them, especially for the bronze drivers, no offense to them, of course, because they are like probably the rookies of SimPlay. I think due to the track limits being the white lines and not the curbs, I think 8.
All right, you're going with 8. I'm going to say a total of about 4. So, hopefully the chat keep us up to our words, but 2 minutes left in free practice before we head into the sprint race, I believe it is.
Definitely, it is yet again a normal racing format today, with one sprint race of 15 minutes and a 60-minute race too.
So, looking at the chat right now, I see Gary, I see my own brother in there, and Rocky Mage, if I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I do apologize, but let me go ahead and just pull up the points. So, in silver, Wolski leads with 499 points over Sam Greaves at 474. Richie in third at 449. Stardog in fourth with 427. And Johnson in fifth with 419. Still extremely close in that silver class. I still think that it's kind of anyone's game, at least in the top 5. Maybe even down to about the top 8.
Definitely, yeah, because we all saw last week that Wolski and Sam Greaves both had horrible results regarding their weekends, and Mirko Ricci was basically the only one who could profit from that. And that he went from 5th to 3rd, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. He did some great business last week, so I'm curious if Mirko Ricci can continue that week.
And then in bronze, Stapley at 300 points over Kruppeljan at 297, Simcoe at 264, Sanchez at 276, and Malerex at 256. And still, even again in the bronze class, that top 5 is extremely close.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely extremely close. I was definitely impressed by Kruppeljan last week. He was well clear in the top 10 together with another bronze driver. And I mean, he was even beating the likes of some silver drivers. So I predict him to be taking over the bronze lead after this week's race at Oulton.
Yeah, I think he again is definitely going to be up there, but just hasn't had the luck really to come out with the championship lead. He has a bunch of good races and just nothing yet. And then in the teams championship, Greasy Bandits at 926, Black and Blue Racing at 819, 4Q at 763, Volcanoes Motorsport at 666, and Vanguard Race Team at 625.
Yeah, it definitely looked like last week that Jimenez was walking away with the Constructors' Championship. But after a horrible weekend at Monza and with the Black and Blue Racing Team having an outstanding weekend with a 2-3 in race 2, I mean, they closed the gap down massively. So the fight is on for the Constructors' Championship as well.
Yeah, as we have a minute, I believe, until the sprint race gets underway. Who are you looking forward, or who are you keeping your eyes up on the most tonight, especially in the sprint race and the reverse grid format?
For me, the 3 people, and all in silver, and that is Mirko Ricci, Sam Gries, and Wolski. For Sam Gries and Wolski, it's to see if they are going to bounce back from a horrible weekend, and Mirko Ricci to see if he can continue his streak that he started last week.
Honestly, I might back you up on that. I would also say to keep an eye out for De Block, especially in the sprint format. He has a ton of pace, but it just seems like in the full 60-minute races, he just last week he underfueled, but just not a lot of luck in those 60-minute races.
Yeah, especially because he is starting P2, so I mean, he can definitely still get a lot of points, but I mean, the question is really underfuel again, because like according to you, yeah, last week it was not a first-time incident. If I am not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I do believe I said that. But Garage is on reverse pole, De Block in second, Flores third, Flores third, Gerbino fourth, Hunt fifth, and then in bronze, Kucharski is leading the field away with Stanek, White, Barty, and Petrovic behind
30
him.
seconds.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think at bronze will impress you the most? We have, of course, talked about what we are expecting for the silver drivers now, but who do you think about the bronze drivers now?
Well, of course, we know that Kruppeljan is absolutely rapid, but I would also say to keep an eye out for Petrovic as well. And it seems that he, a little bit later into the season, is coming into form. So I would definitely have to star his name as Stanek returns to the pits.
Oh, that is a little bit of a spanner in the works.
Is indeed. I wonder if he. Wonder if he didn't get the fuel right. That's the only thing that I could really think of.
Well, there is also like a rare glitch that sometimes the game doesn't let you press drive. There's also a possibility that that happened to him. I know it happens to me a couple of times, but I'm driving this game now for like 4 years, so it only happened twice, so it's a very rare occurrence.
Well, we are underway for the first and only formation lap. It's going to be, I would say, a very, very fun race. Oulton Park is one of those kind of make or break tracks. Though we could definitely see a huge difference in pace between the silver drivers and the bronze drivers.
I mean, Oulton Park is definitely a track where skill, basically the high skill drivers can make the difference. This track is basically a 0 to 0 track. There's nothing in between. You either be a hero or you end up being a 0.
Let's see.
Anyway, we will see. We are seeing that, of course, with the formation ship, Juras is leading the block, with the block being second, Flores third, and Gambino fourth. With, of course, being a short track, the formation lap will be done soon, and then we will see if everything will stay clean or it will be chaos at turn 1. I know a couple of seasons ago, and I'm very much guilty of it, I caused chaos into turn 1, lap 1, when we are driving at Oulton Park. And of course, I got a massive deserved penalty for that. So, will anyone repeat my mistakes I did in a couple of seasons ago?
Well, on another motorcycle track, I did the same thing at Silverstone, so there's that. But as they now go double file. Ooh. Looking at the track map, Warwick Bridge is where they are currently at. As they are making their way into Lodge Corner. Really feel like I should know the corner names, considering I've been here so many times. But as they make their way up to the line, we've got them racked, we've got them stacked. The virtual grandstands are packed, and we are about to go green. And they are underway, heading down into turn 1. Jiraj on the inside to block, works around the outside, and he has cleared Jiraj.
What an amazing start for the block. He already had a better reaction time to the green lights than Jiraj. And I have to say, in those GT3 cars, around the outside is very difficult, but the block makes it stick and is now leading the race.
Yeah, just looked a little bit further down. They went up probably about 4 wide or so, heading into the next corner. But as they now head into Shell Oil's corner, we are here on Alcapara. Stardog, a little bit of contact. Stardog around the outside, heading into the first chicane. And I think he's cleared Alcapara. He has indeed. Richie just behind. Relatively clean so far. Oh, one car
There is someone
off.
in the grass. I am not able to see who it is, but of course he's now unfortunate. He's now all the way at the back.
Oh, a little bit of contact with Stardog and Richie. I just saw the tail end of that. Couple cars off a little bit later. There's a BMW that might be Kacharski. No. Waiting for it to update. Oh, Petrovic. I saw him off. Couldn't see the number. But yeah, just heading into the second chicane. Quite a bit of bumper-to-bumper action.
And the block has issues. The block has issues. He is on the grass. He is losing a lot of places at the moment. I don't know what happened. I've completely missed it. But like, I think he had an issue. He went off the track, and he's now all the way. I mean, he's all the way back down in the midfield. So he has lost a lot of places at the moment. And Flores is now leading the race.
Yeah, I again just saw the tail end of that. I saw that there was a the slow car ahead notification, and that's about all that I got. As Hunt is pressuring Flores going again into Shell Oil's corner. So could this be another good week for Hunt?
I mean, the possibility is there. I am not personally knowing what the abilities of a Mercedes are, but he seems definitely rapid in Oulton Park at the moment and really pressuring Flores. But he has to keep in mind that Coates is also very close to him and wants to have a look at the P2 as well.
And while we're focusing on some of the drivers, look at Coates up in P3, gets promoted up into the silver class and slowly works up his pace. But now, P3 in the reverse grid sprint race, albeit he hasn't done his pit stop yet, so I would probably keep my eye on him. He might be a hidden figure in this race.
I mean, it's a possibility, and also depending how much they are going to fight each other.
Oh,
Flores
Hunt punched Flores off, going into the final corner, which means that Coates now leads, but I saw just a little bit of it. I don't know if Flores got onto the binders too early or if Hunt sent it just a little bit too hard, but both of them are now in, and Coates leads by quite a comfortable margin over Millington, almost a second, as they approach the second sector.
I mean, I saw the incident also a little bit. It looks like that Hunt broke too late. I mean, but I had a terrible angle to watch it, so I will not be surprised if it could also be that Hunt got caught off guard by Flores early braking. But I mean, that's what Stewart's to decide later on.
Yeah, as we see, again, almost like last week, though, two black and blue racing Lexuses, or Lexi, kind of working together to get through the grid. They're now 4th and 5th, as they are slowly beginning to pressure that of Steve Millington.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen last week that the black and blue racing team have great team synergy together. They were working together very well, and I will not be surprised if they can do that today here as well, either in race 1 or race 2. Oh!
Yeah.
Michael Ricci has crashed out into a wall. He went too wide at turn 4, and he has crashed out into a wall, so that will not be a major point haul for him. He was trying to pass
a
Gambino.
little sketchy on the rejoin. But very, very unfortunate for Richie. He looked to have pretty decent pace just at the start of this, but now all of that has slowly unwound.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate for Richie, but today, once again, we have 2 races to go, so he, of course, has a second chance to still have a great weekend and potentially still getting a lot of points out of his in his championship hunt.
Yeah, and we just know, or we all know that Richie is extremely quick, even in quali and race trim, so he might be able to bounce back from just a poor sprint race.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Gruppel John has overtaken White just before turn 4. I cannot really see it is currently for P7, but they still have to make a pit stop. So we don't know at the moment where they will be ending up if everyone has made the pit stop, but a great move from Gruppel nevertheless.
And just out of all the cars that have pitted, it seems that Sam Greaves will come out. No, it just changed to Garbino, who is leading all the pit stop takers.
Yeah, the Gambino looks looking very good, of course. Now he managed to avoid all the carnage that was happening in front of him, all while he was taking a pit stop.
As we see White trying to defend from that of Kucharski, he does, at least for now. And DeBlock slowly closing in on this fight. Could DeBlock play a little bit of a battle as White goes well wide in the last corner, allowing DeBlock and Kucharski to easily slide through, and White is in to the box.
That was unfortunate for White that he went off wide, but I think it's a very good call to make a pit stop. Well, Kucharski is very much under pressure from the block. Kucharski's car doesn't look very much healthy at the moment, I have to say. Look at his hood popping out of his car.
Yeah, I would say about the same for DeBlock, but neither of them have pitted, and there's 7 minutes left, so about halfway through the race.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
As it looks like that Johnson has now also made his pit stop. And if the timing towers are correct, never mind. I wanted to say that he was in front of Gambino, but he is in front of Greaves. So he has a potentially net P2 at the moment.
I just watched a little bit of this Alcapara and Smith fight. Alcapara just went a little bit too hot going into, is that turn 2, turn 3? Can't remember off the top of my head, but almost hit Smith, but put it into the gravel as Millington is in for his stop.
Let's see where Millington will be ending up. Of course, he does not need to forget to turn off his tires, else he will be all the way at the back with a 30-second pit stop.
At the moment, I'm not seeing any on-track fights.
I think the closest fight we have at the moment is Cherry Moore versus Sanchez. And that is for
Yep.
net P18 at the moment. I have to say, this race was less chaotic than I would have expected, not gonna lie. Of course, we have some very big shunts here and there, but the drivers are managing all to park very well at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're just tiptoeing through it, trying not to get any tickets and penalties, especially since we are about halfway through the season, maybe a little bit more than halfway through the season. So it's all about just trying to end it on a high note.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this is part of the season where our drivers know if they are in a championship
Oh,
fight or not.
sorry, Patty. Cherry Moore right around the outside of Sanchez, who goes off. And that's Kruppeljan off as well, almost shooting the gap. Doesn't get there, but him and Sanchez both into the wall at the Shell Oil's corner.
Yeah, that is very much unfortunate. I saw Kruppeljan going very much wide at turn 4. And it seems like that he and Sanchez took each other out. But I had another great angle, so that is all speculations from my end. But nevertheless, very much unfortunate for these two drivers. These two drivers seem to be driving very well.
Now it seems that Smith is under pressure.
Oh,
again
Middleton is right into a
Drolander.
wall. He was pressuring Garbino, but he went too early on his gas and he hit the wall and he loses, I think, 4 places, and he's now behind Popovic.
Yeah, I just caught the tail end of that, but I was looking at the Rob Smith and Drolander fight. Though they're not competing for the over every point counts. So Drolander trying to get up to that 13th and score 13th place points.
I think
even
you
though
want
they're
to
not
say
in the
they are
same
driving
class.
in different classes and they are not fighting each other for a championship. But like you said, every point count. And I mean, if I was driving in a different class, I will not care. I want to have the overtake done. And Droneland, it looks like he wanted to go around the outside. He's trying to have a switch back, but Smith has that covered.
Yeah, had Drolander pulled that off, that may have been the move of the season, going right around the outside. But now it seems that Garage is slowly reeling himself into this little fight. But Rob Smith, a net P10. Coach is in. Wolski still yet to pit. So if we might be able to see Rob Smith maybe a top 9, maybe a top 8, depending on how depending on where Wolski filters out once he completes his stop.
Let's see where Coates is going to end up. He is now exiting the pit lane. Will he stay in front of Batterson? The answer we will have very much soon. And the answer is yes, but they're very close. Are they going to side?
No, not into turn 3 of Cascades, but very, very close.
That's a massive shame for Batterson, but he has still 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go to try and force an overtake. Of course, his tires are a little bit more up to temperature compared to Coates. But I have to say, Batterson really surprised me. I never expected him to be close to the lead today. I thought it was going to be Garbino.
Yeah, either that or Johnson, but Batterson our coach just extends the gap a little bit through the first of the 2 chicanes. But let me go back and check up on that Rob Smith fight. He's still keeping Drolander and Garage behind. So Rob Smith making that Nissan as wide as the track, not allowing those 2 silver drivers to get past. As Wolski is now in, is Coates going to be able to take the lead of this race? I think it'll be very, very close. Wolski had quite a gap, at least on track, but Coates was in the lead of this race, so
I think Coates will get the lead. Looking at the car of Wolski, he had, of course, a little bit of an adventure couple of times as it looks like it.
Yep, Coates clear from Wolski, but still a little bit under pressure from that of Bettis and Gerbino. Not far out, but still has quite a margin to catch up.
Yeah, and this is already the last lap of the race, we can confirm that, so this will be the last lap battle between Peterson and Coates for the win.
Definitely not as, kind of what you said earlier, not as chaotic of a sprint as some of the sprint races usually are.
Yeah, I have to say, the drivers keep it well within track limits. And not hitting the grass where they will be hitting the wall. Of course, a few drivers did, like in the likes of
Bedison
Richie.
runs a little bit wide. Sorry to cut you off, Patty, but Bedison just a pinch wide. Coates now able to extend his gap.
Yeah, I saw it happening indeed. It was an. I didn't mind the interruption, but I think if Coates keep it in the white lines, the race win is his.
As Coates rounds the final corner, keeps it within track limits. Same thing with Bedison. Coates wins the sprint race here at Oulton Park, followed up by Bedison, Gerbino, Johnson, Wolski, Greaves. Simcoe is going to win it in bronze. Steve Millington, Popovich, and Rob Smith brings home a P10 and a P2 in bronze in the sprint race. Defending off Drone Lander and Garage in that silver class. Hunt now up to the line, followed by Richie. The block coming up to the final corner.
It was a very unfortunate race for the block. He was looking like that he was about to win it, but then that one incident between him and probably someone else changed everything, and now he ends up in a lonely P15.
Ooh, Kruppeljan almost got that a privet up to the line, but it seemed like the McLaren just had a little more oomph to make it to the line.
But I say that the Black and Blue Racing Team once again gained a lot of points on Greasy Bandits. If they continue on, I will not be surprised at the end of this event. They will be leading the Constructors' Championship. They are really on top form at the moment with the P2 and P4.
Yeah, I would say P2, well, remaining in P2, but definitely going to close into the Greasy Bandits racing cars quite a bit, especially if they can find a way to get maybe a P2, P3, or P2 and P4 in the actual feature race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a team well on top form, and I'm very excited to see what they can do in race 2 and in the qualification.
Yep. So the sprint race is done. Just a little bit of a break before we head into qualifying.
Yep.
Welcome back now to the bronze qualifying session, as Kruppeljan is the first driver to come across the line. And the reference for the rest of the driver is going to be a 1 minute 35.5. Rob Smith now up to the line, a second off. Petrovic, yet another second off. Simcoe, I believe, up to the line. Ooh,
And he's just
under a
below a
10th. Next up, the 91 of Sanchez. Shoots up 2.8 seconds down.
Ooh, that's not really that good of a lap. Well, at the moment, Privet is now about to crossing the line. Let's see what his lap time will be at the moment.
Goes up
And
to third, 9/10 out. The 669 of Stanek. 1 second. 13, believe that is White. It is indeed. Just now coming up to the line, runs a little bit wide. Don't know if that was invalid or not.
We are about to find out if it was. And the answer is yes, it was invalidated.
Yes.
It seems like that Kucharczyk and Bardi both are not doing their qualification laps. Probably they have a qualification ban at the moment. That's why they are staying out. But I have to say, besides Simcoe and Kruppeljan, a lot of drivers are like approximately a second off pole position at the moment.
As Kruppeljan improves now up to a 35.2. Again, Simcoe just 3/10 out. Going to be very close to see if he can go quick time, as he is now up to the line. Simcoe goes quick time with a 1 minute 35.1. Kruppeljan just under a 10th out.
Let's see what Sanchez will be doing. He's 3 seconds off pole position at the moment. Can he cut down the deficit? Yes,
Just
he can, but he's still last of the bronze runners.
Next Privet up to the line. 1.3. Privet goes to just a second out. Stanek next.
Same for Stanek, also a second.
Petrovic about 1.5.
Let's see what the number 13 will be doing, and that is White. White is now about to cross the line. Will he finally put a lap on the board? The answer is yes, but it's not an impressive one. 4 seconds off P1.
Seems that Rob Smith invalidated, as well as the 12 of Petrovic. Just seeing the blue dots. Kruppeljan's going to be next up to the line. Can he take back that first? Not yet.
The answer is no. What will the 105 of Rob Smith do? Oh wait, you never mind. You already said it was invalidated. My bad. Let's see what Simcoe will be doing.
Add on to his time? No. 63 of Privet is the next one on a valid lap.
And Petrovic's qualification might be done, because I just saw him into the grass. He potentially went wide and ruined his qualification lap, and potentially has some damage as well. So I think he does not have enough time anymore to get his tires into the right window, and he blocks Sanchez massively as well. If Sanchez will report him, then he probably gets a penalty for that.
Next driver on a valid lap is going to be that of White, who's just now coming into the final corner.
He's now getting over the right last corner. He takes the corner exit better than the last time we saw it. But he does not improve. That's a worrying sign for White.
And Kruppeljan next up to the line.
Takes the last corner a little bit weird. He does
Ooh.
improve by only 5,000ths of a second. You have to wonder if the way he messed up the last corner, that he lost a lot of time or potentially a pole position as well.
Maybe, but still, they should get maybe one more lap in, but it'll be very, very close.
I think with Simco it will be very, very close. I think John is the only one who can do 2 laps. And that Simco is not able to
Sanchez.
improve. I am really thinking that Jan can still get potentially bronze pole position.
Sanchez improved just a little bit on 1.9 seconds out. So maybe, at least in the bronze class, the Mercedes doesn't look very or as strong as something like the BMW or the Ferrari. Again, it could also be just a difference in the setup.
I think that's all. I think that could be a case. I mean, Oulton Park is very much a track that you either like or you dislike. So, I mean, and talking about liking, Privet probably likes the track a lot because he makes a major gap from all the drivers who were 1 second off pole. He's now currently P3 and his qualification session is over. So, let's see if he stays bronze P3 at the moment. And Jan takes pole position.
Quick time with a 34.9, 2/10 clear of Simco, and Simco's lap is valid just with the little blue bubble. Rob Smith finishes his lap with a.
Let's see if no Simco is back putting in the lip, so difficult to speak today. Is pulling back into the pit lane, so he will not have a quick time lap.
Rob Smith on the last of his laps as he just got across the line in time.
What will Petrovic do?
Oh, Sanchez improves a half a second. But I don't think he's going to get... No, he isn't going to get another lap. Pulls it over to the side. Jan into the pits.
Let me see. Any of the bronze drivers
on a lap, I believe.
Well, let's see what Rob Smith can be doing. I mean, he's the only one who can improve. I mean, if he can fight 3/10, then he will be jumping up 2 places. I have to say, I like his splash of paint on his Nissan. I mean, very much purple and pinkish. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. Again, his teammate Coates running, give or take, the same livery, but just a little splash of purple never hurt anybody.
Definitely, it does stand out of everyone of the pack. But anyway, Rob Smith is now crossing out of the last corner. He's drifting like it's Mario Kart. Will he improve his time? Let's see if he does.
No.
The answer is no.
He doesn't.
So he stays P7.
So as the silver drivers wind up for the first of their laps, Wolski is going to be the first one to start his lap. And let's just take a little bit of an onboard here at Oulton Park.
Yes, let's drive along with Wolski, our championship leader at the moment, if I'm correct. And he will be leading the back. And he will be leading the back of the qualifiers of today's silvers. And what we just have seen with bronze, that might be a massive benefit of having a potential 1 lap extra worth of doing his qualification session.
Yeah, but I don't know if the viewers could really tell it just from this onboard of Wolski, but this track is extremely bumpy. Just in the force feedback, it feels like you're not only fighting the car, but also every single bump that goes through the car and then the wheel.
I mean, let me tell you, after every time I've done Oulton Park, I can, when I'm doing weights, I can add a couple of extra pounds on it, and I can carry them easier after I'm done racing at Oulton Park. That's much feedback I'm feeling.
And then Wolski just now up to the final corner. Probably the hardest corner to get the traction on, because the way it's off camber and it dips down. But Wolski's going to be the first one across the line with Kruppeljan's 34.9 for reference. Wolski goes... No, Wolski's lap was invalid. Stardog. Cherry Moore goes top of the silvers. Now Bettison goes quick time with a 34.6.
Wow, that is definitely
What
a
a
quick
lap.
time lap. And let me be clear, that is probably a lap where his tires are not optimal as well. So I'm curious what he can do when his tires are optimum. I mean, Bettison is on form today.
Yeah, very, very strong lap from him. 3/10 clear of Kruppeljan's lap and 5/10 clear of the next silver driver, that of Cherry Moore, who's down in 4th.
Yeah, but now it will be getting interesting when every silver driver is going to do the second lap. You can all assume that the tires are now optimum and the lap times will be dropping down quicker and quicker as the session goes on. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go.
Wolski again, just now into the final sector, approaching the last corner. Last lap was invalid. Let's see what he could do on this lap.
I mean, I've been watching him more than halfway through his lap, and this lap looks way more tidier. What will his lap time be?
He goes up to
P5.
5th, 6/10, or yeah, P5. The 6/10 out. The Stardog improves just a little bit. If I saw.
Peterson does not
Bettison
improve on his
does
lap.
not.
Cherry Moore does not as well.
Oh, Popovich up to P3. Johnson up to P4. Looking like a very shaken up grid if it were to remain this way.
Let's see what Dronelander will be doing. P10. P10, 9/10 off pole position at the moment. I mean, if the 34.6 will be pole position time, let's pay some attention to Kruppeljan, who's at the moment 3/10 off the bronze. If that will be pole position, Kruppeljan did a very good job with putting at P2 at the moment with just 3/10 off.
Yes, we're now on Hunt. He goes up to P2, 2/10 out. But still, Kruppeljan up at the top three and 3/10 out, really showing just how strong of a lap he put in that bronze qualifying session.
I mean, I'm kind of afraid what his pace will be when his tires are on optimal tire pressure settings and tire temperatures. Well, Wolski goes P2 with just a tenth off.
Funnily enough, how far off he is his number.
Very sharp of you, Wellington. Very sharp of you. I was not even
Cherry
paying
Moore
attention
now goes up to P3, a 10th off. Now Popovich goes quick time with a 34.4. Johnson less than a 10th out, only 400ths of a second out. Now Bettison is on the back foot, nearly 2/10 off.
Yeah, I'm following Peterson at the moment, and he goes almost drifting into turn 4. He's managing to keep his car under control and not crash into a wall. Now after turn 5 with the inside banker, he's now approaching the turn 6, 7 and 8 combination. He takes a lot of curb when in the braking zone. Which if your car is able to do, in my opinion, that's the most ideal line you can take. And he's now approaching the chicane where the... I'm sorry, I do not know all the names of Oulton Park of the turns. But he's now in what I would call the Mickey Mouse section of Oulton Park. He just done that. And he's now approaching the very fast right-hand corner. Then he's approaching the last corner. Then we can see how fast he will be going, and if you can potentially retake pole position, but he needs to go 2/10 faster as we speak, because Hunt has taken pole position as we speak.
Yeah, Hunt now goes quick time with a 34.4, just barely, probably by about a whisker over
And Pedersen
Popovich.
now
Now
goes
Pedersen
quick
goes quick
time.
time.
With 3/10 of a difference between Hunt. What a lap from Pedersen. I'm sorry, Wellington. I wanted to do the quick time as well.
Yeah, I took it from Worlds of Outlaws commentator, but I mean, hey, it kind of works.
I mean, you kind of make it your own. Not gonna lie.
Give or take. But Hunt now into, if I'm looking at the track map right, that of Hislops. Oh, never mind, he's past it in the time that it took me to find the track map.
Well, Flores will be the one who will be crossing the line. He does not improve the time. And now Hunt is the second, is the first driver now will be crossing the line. And going to do his last lap of the session soon. What will Hunt improve his time and retake pole position, or will Pedersen keep it at the moment?
No improvement for Hunt. Now Wolski is going to be the next one up to the line.
Well, at the moment, I will keep my eye on Pedersen. Pedersen goes wide at the second to last corner. I don't know if he'll be losing time or not. And Pedersen qualification lap is over. He messed up the last two corners.
Popovich seems to be on an invalid lap.
Is he able to cross the line in time for another lap?
Oh, it'll be very, very close. I think he's going to do it probably by about a second. Oh, I think he just got there in time for one more.
He is pushing, so I think he is. Well, the block just finished. He is starting in P5 as we speak at the moment. And there's also confirmation that Popovich did make it in time for another qualification lap.
Oh, Popovich runs wide.
Well, you have a massive snap of oversteer.
It'd be hard to regain all that time just with how technical this track is.
Definitely, Pedersen gives up on his lap time, so 34.1 is his final lap time. And of course, is off. Popovich is seemingly like the only threat to Pedersen pole position lap. Well, before I say that, let's see what Wolski will be doing. He's now crossing the last corner.
Yeah, ooh, a little snap, but now up to the line, half a second out. Improves to 4/10 out, but still remains in that P6. So Pedersen gets pulled by a whopping 3/10 over that of Hunt, another 3/10 over Popovich. Johnson in fourth, and a block in fifth, nearly 4/10 out.
Yeah, yet again, the black and blue racing guys are doing massive business with getting pole position and getting a P4. Both of the drivers are in front of the Greasy Bandits racing guys.
We have about 90 seconds until the formation lap gets underway. Who are you gonna keep your eye on for this feature race, Patty?
For silver, I have to say Johnson, because his braking performance really impressed me in Monza. So I will not be surprised if he can outbrake a couple of other drivers and thus reclaiming some positions. And for the bronze, I mean, I'm really impressed with Kruppeljan. I mean, his qualification lap time. Well, he is P11, but when the first laps come in, he was just 3/10 off pole position. I mean, Kruppeljan can do some massive business, especially since Stapley is not even racing, I think, today.
30 seconds.
No, I didn't see him on the tower. Well, Pedersen is gonna lead us away from that of Hunt and Popovich. But I would say I'm gonna keep my eye definitely on that of Hunt. It seems that he has
10
come
seconds.
into really good form lately. And then I'm probably gonna look at Jan and Simcoe. I feel like that could be a really, really good scrap. Ooh, as
I definitely
Popovich
agree
and
with you.
Jan both return to the pits.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for them. I don't know if it was on purpose or it was not their mistake. But that's unfortunate, especially for Popovich, because he was P3. Let's not forget about that. So that means Johnson will inherit P3 as we speak. So the black and blue racing guys are drivers are even more looking better at the moment.
Yeah, so again, just black and blue racing slowly kind of bringing themselves into that championship fight. Not kind of letting anybody get in between them and not having anybody affect their own race. They just kind of circle a goal and go for it.
Yeah, but it's not plain free sailing because the greasy bandits are P6 and P7, now P5 and P6 due to Popovich starting for the pit lane. So they also can do some massive damage and counteract the huge point score that black and blue racing are potentially getting today. Especially since Stardock now today is there as well with Wolski.
Oh, um, just while we're on the formation lap, again, two of our beloved SimPlay drivers took on the likes of the League by Fox Tekka last night at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Tanner Kneebone went from the pit lane to P14 out of 42 drivers, and my very own brother Ramsey, i.e. Gordon Jimenez, wins qualified third, had a couple of incidents, and ended up finishing, well, really just fighting back to that of P5. And of course, ours truly, Matthew Duffin, took to the comms box for quite a while, honestly, and just due to all the rain, his voice is kind of worn, hence why he is not joining me and or Patty, although he is our producer, so we could hear him occasionally in the background.
Well, I have to say about your brother's livery in LMU. I have to say, for everyone who's watching, I really like his livery, especially the Pokemon Glacian part. I mean, it's a really nice touch. I have to say that.
Well, that's not his LMU livery. That's his iRacing one.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was an LMU livery. I guess your commentator is misinformed. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen.
But as they come up to the line, we've got them racked. We've got them stacked. The virtual grandstands are packed. And we are about to go green.
Green light. Go, go, go.
It's showtime here in Oulton Park. 1 hour of avoiding the track limit. Hunt goes right around Bettison in turn 1. Not seeing anything in the background. Cherry, incident behind. I saw Cherry more off. Is that of drone lander? Gotta wait for the timing tower to adjust. Oh, 96. Is that Sam Greaves off? Yes, it is at turn 3.
Oh, there's another setback for Sam Greaves. He cannot use that for his championship fight, getting involved with all those incidents.
But yeah, now back on to Hunt, who's being chased by that of Bettison. But just another unfortunate week for that of Sam Greaves.
Yeah, but at the moment I'm watching Wolski versus Coates. Wolski had a little adventure on the grass and really got into the pressure of Coates, but he fends off Coates' attack really well and he managed to stay P4 or P5 as we speak, because the block inherited P4.
And now it looks that Coates is under pressure from that of Stardog, as Stardog looks to the inside, nothing there, heading into last corner. Ooh, incident behind in bronze, Stanek and Petrovic. And that allows Sam Greaves to get at least 2 positions. Same thing with Popovic, who started from the pits.
Yeah, I mean, yet again, very fortunate for Popovic that he needed to start into the pit lane. He was in a very good position to get a podium, but now he needs to fight his way all the way back into a decent position to limit the damage he has.
And tell you what, Bettison is slowly, well, I say slowly, it's only been a lap. He's just now on the back of Bettison. Or sorry, Bettison is just now on the back of Hunt.
Yeah, and I have to say, the black and blue racing drivers are looking really good. They already have gapped the block, so they can really focus on trying to get Hunt back for the lead.
Yeah, oh, Coates is in the wall. I was just about to look to see if he was still under pressure from that of Stardog, but he's been in the wall. The 669 of Stanek is also in, or also off. But very unfortunate. Coates looked to be in a very, very good position.
Yeah, but I guess the pressure got to him and he went into the wall. So I guess he has to pit now for a pit stop and fix the damage. So his race will be effectively compromised from now on.
Yeah, and that means that Rob Smith is now on the bronze podium with Sanchez running in second and Simcoe leading the bronze charge. But Kucharski not far out from Rob Smith, filling in all of his mirror as they head around this tight, twisty track as Cherry Moore runs slightly wide at turn 1.
At the moment I'm watching the fight for the lead, where Bettison is trying to get closer and closer to Hunt to really get the pressure on. But Hunt is quick in all the right places at the moment, so I guess it's just now for the black and blue racing drivers to settle down and make sure they will not losing too much time.
Yeah, definitely. Usually the straight lines or the Lexus's kind of meat and potatoes. It definitely seems that the Lexus isn't half bad around here at Oulton. We saw Dan Davis back in season 9, was it, take a win here at Oulton in the opening round, albeit he didn't take tires. So do you think that when we get to that pit stop, that Bettison and Johnson are going to take tires with a 37-degree track temp?
Well, it's coincidentally that you're talking about Dan Davis, because I was talking about strategies, and he said to me, with the temperatures that we are facing right now, and with the aggressive curbs that all the parks are offering the drivers, he said to me that the wisest decision is to take tires. Because due to these two factors, if you go without new tires, the old tires will not last. That is what he told me.
All right, a little bit of insight. Let's see if there's any battles. Garbino's just now on the back of Simcoe.
Yeah, I'd say Simcoe is doing really well for a bronze driver, getting his car into P7. He's now in the...
I don't know, but let's see if there's anything behind. Sanchez has quite a train of drivers. He has Flores, Cherry Moore, Rob Smith, and Kucharski all behind him. And both Flores and Cherry Moore are going to be absolutely eager to get by that of the bronze driver of Sanchez.
Yeah, we are now at the moment on the... all aboard on the Sanchez train. Well, I see that Rob Smith has an excursion onto the grass. I think he lost his car and went had a little advantage on the grass, losing him multiple positions.
Yeah, so now he's just on the back of Jiraj and Richie. and currently under pressure from that of Millington.
At the moment, Cherry Moore is very close to Flores. Maybe he is eyeing to look have a little move on the inside of turn 5.
Maybe. I don't think that he is close enough as we go on board with that of Cherry Moore. No, definitely not close enough. But Flores looking to go maybe around the outside of that of Sanchez. No, not able to get it.
I mean, going around the outside of turn 5 will be very much difficult because on the inside it's going very much on camber. So it's near impossible to go around the outside of turn 5 to make a move work.
Let's check up on that lead battle. Hunt about 7/10 clear of Bedison, but it doesn't look like 7/10 to me. It looks a little bit closer.
I think those 3 drivers are at the moment settling down, trying to make the gap as big as possible to the block who's in P4 at the moment. And Wolski is also eyeing up onto block to try to make a move on him, so he can retake P4 and basically extending his championship lead since Richie is nowhere near him and Graves is nowhere near him as well.
So as we were looking at the top fighting, I just saw Barty with heavy damage. But luckily he's in the 3rd sector already, so he should just be able to go ahead and bring that car right down to the pits, get it repaired, and go out.
Yeah, that Lamborghini definitely doesn't look like he had his best days, but he's not even going to pit, so the Lamborghini apparently looks good enough to continue.
Yeah, as Wolski is slowly bringing that of the block into sight. So could we maybe see a Wolski to block fight? But if they do fight, then those podium runners of Hunt, Bedison, and Johnson are only going to disappear into the distance.
Well, Cherry Moore is into the wall at turn 5. I have no idea what happened. He is now going off on the grass itself. I think that could be a potential retirement from Cherry Moore. He went back to the garage.
To the pits. So maybe, I don't know, we'll keep an eye on it as the race goes on if that's going to be a retirement or not.
I mean, he's definitely doing something what I did at Spa this season earlier, and I got a lot of crap about me from my friends at SimPlay.
We love you, Patty. We love you.
I love you. I love you too, Wellington.
As Simcoe is just now on the back of Gerbino. No, looked a lot closer through the last sector.
Yeah, I mean, according to my timings, he was like 1.5 tenths off, but like he's still very close. He's maybe trying to make the move stick. But then I found it very baffling that he let Gerbino go, because Simcoe looks like he's faster out of the 2 of them.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit faster, Gerbino, with a slight snap of oversteer. So maybe Simcoe elected to let Gerbino go, thinking that he was going to be quicker, but I feel like he's trying to line up a pass to get right back through and maybe build himself a gap to the 2nd place bronze runner of Sanchez.
Whatever his strategy is, we will find out soon enough. But he is really putting the pressure on Gerbino. Well, Simcoe had a little moment doing the right-hander. But also, let's also remember that Alcapara is very close to them as well. So he's also looking to have a little sniff around the 2 of them.
Yeah, and since Alcapara and Sanchez are both on the same team, I wonder if maybe Alcapara might use himself as a pick to allow Sanchez to get just a little bit closer, maybe try and get some more points. Alcapara down in 9th. I feel like that's the furthest we've seen him all season. He's usually up in like top 5 type of pace.
Yes, definitely. At the moment, Wolski is really trying to force the block into a mistake. But let's be honest. Maybe he's also hoping that the block has underfueled his car a little bit once again. I mean, then he has a free position to P4.
Well, luckily it's only the first stint. It's the second stint that matters what the fuel is at. So even if the block's slightly under fuel, he could just come down to the pit, refuel it, probably take a fresh set of tires, and just go from there.
Definitely. At the moment, the closest fights that we have, as far as I can see, is the Block and Wolski, and Simcoe and Gabino.
Yeah, still, it just seems that some of the mid-engine cars have a little more oomph just getting away. Although Simcoe and Gabino, both in mid-engines, just kind of playing to their strengths. It seems that Simcoe's a little bit quicker in the first and second sector, and Gabino is extremely strong in the last sector.
Yes, definitely. At the moment, also John is fighting his way back up. He's now P5 in bronze class, P19 overall, and he's really trying to limit his damage as much as he can. He's doing at the moment a good job. Still 46 minutes to go for him.
Let's check. Hunt now only has about probably only a nose, it seems, between himself and Bettison, but Johnson slowly bringing himself in. So could the two Lexus kind of do what they did last week at
Oh,
Monza?
I think Bettison will go. Oh,
No, not
Bettison
yet.
was having a look around the inside, but he decides not to go for it. But like I said last week about Bettison, his abilities with the braking is not as good as it is with Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson must have carbon fiber brakes on that Lexus instead of the normal ones that usually come with it. So he probably paid an extra $2,000-3,000 for better brakes.
Well, I think Lexus are just using plastic brake ducts because the braking performance of a Lexus normally is very poor, to say the least.
And Bettison with the fastest lap. So really, again, just showing how good the Lexus is around here.
Yeah, with Oulton Park you do not have a lot of high braking zones. Basically, you could just like gradually use your brake and basically let the brake turn you around the corner. Oh, Bettison goes off into the grass!
Bettison way off.
Does he manage to? No, yeah, no.
Oh, doesn't hit the wall, but that's going to be a lot of time lost.
I mean, the team principal of Greasy Benders will be very happy with Bettison off because he will be losing a lot of time and positions. Ooh, almost a dangerous rejoin.
Hits that of Gabino.
Ooh.
But Johnson, almost immediately after that happens, straight on the back of Hunt. Let's see if I can get the wing cam.
I mean, Bettison going off basically allows Johnson to be unleashed. He's now putting massive pressure on Hunt. Hunt will now probably be cracking his boots because he should know Johnson is very good on his brakes.
Yeah, again, I'm on the wing camera. Just, you can't even see the front end of Johnson's car with how close he is. You can only see just the little nameplate and position board in the windscreen, but that's about it.
I mean, Hunt will need to have some nerve of steel because Johnson will be all around him now. Like I said, since Bettison went to have a little adventure onto the grass, that basically means Johnson is now unleashed. He doesn't need to worry about his teammate anymore. It's now him versus Hunt for the win.
Ooh, Hunt just somebody is in the wall. I just saw that. That's that of White. But it looked like Hunt had just a little bit of a slide through the just through the kink.
Yeah, let's see if Johnson have now a better exit. It looks like it, but I do not think he is close enough to go down for a dive bomb, and he is not close enough indeed.
Yeah, but still, Johnson just piling on the pressure. A little bit of a wiggle as they head into the third sector. So this will be a scrap to keep our eyes on.
Definitely. I mean, since the Patterson is out of the picture, Hunt is under way more pressure now, as it seems like.
Yeah, as De Block is now putting pressure onto that of Wolski, and he has Stardog just behind.
I mean, like I said, little off from Patterson is good news for Greasy Bandits.
Drive-through for Popovich.
Ah, that's unfortunate. His day is going from bad to worse really quickly. Good news though is for him is that the pit lane is not that long, so the drive-through is actually not a massive penalty around here.
Yeah, definitely one of the shorter pit lanes. It could have been Coda or Mizano, as I know.
Well, at the
Ooh,
fight,
De Block and Wolski. Oh, De Block goes down the inside of Wolski, hits the wall, and that of Stardog hits him.
wow, I have completely missed it, Wellington. What happened?
Yeah, again, De Block looked down the inside of Wolski. Wolski was not budging, and De Block just went head on into the wall.
Yeah, but he took Wolski
Extremely
with him,
heavy
I think.
damage.
Yeah,
I think so. And let's check the damage on Wolski. No, Wolski seems to not have any damage on his car. But I did see that there was contact between that of De Block and Stardog. Nothing that Stardog really could have done, considering De Block was in the middle of the track and sitting just on the racing line.
I am amazed that Wolski still managed to be at least in P4, not gonna lie. I mean, that's kind of impressive with the massive crash he had.
Yeah, Stardog, I think, is just going to bring it into the pits. That he does. So that promotes Wolski up to another podium. And again, it just seems that Wolski has these races where he starts kind of quiet and then just appears on the podium, but still just hasn't found a way to get a win yet.
I mean, that is a very curious stat indeed. He is leading the championship, but he has not won a race as we speak. Well, Johnson is very close into with Hunt. Can we see finally a potential move for P1? Hunt needs to have a good exit to keep Johnson at bay. But it seems like that Johnson is having a look. Hunt is looking to defend the inside. Will Johnson have a massive dive bomb down the inside? The answer is unfortunately no.
Hunt drops it. Hunt drops it. That promotes Johnson now up to the lead of this race, and with zero pressure, having almost a 13-second gap over that of Wolski. I saw Hunt just give a little kiss to the grass on the exit of the second chicane. So now all Johnson really has to do is kind of just kick back.
But just bring it home. Well, Hunt also has some looking like quite some damage on his hood, so he will also lose a lot of time during his pit stop repairing it if he chooses to do so. But I have to say, I'm not really agreeing with your statement that there was no pressure, because since Patterson was gone, and then straightly dives down the inside for a pit stop as we speak. But when Patterson was involved, Johnson was putting constantly pressure onto Hunt, and it worked. Hunt made a fatal mistake, and now Johnson is leading the race.
Yes, and as we just saw on the time screen, an 11-second gap to that of Wolski. So yeah, again, he just kind of has to just bring it home, not make any serious mistakes, hit his marks when he comes in for his pit stop. But Gravino now up to a P3, very I wouldn't say unlikely, but just a very, very quiet P3, and Wolski up to that of P2.
But I also give you the attention that Patterson is back into P4 and it's looking like he still can get the podium, which amazes me, not gonna lie, after his early fatal mistake at turn 4.
Yeah, this really just shows that everything will happen and can happen, and just a 1 hour race here on this Oulton Park circuit, very well known for its motorcycle more than its car related things. But still, just when you bring GT3s to this track, kind of just unfolds a new potential, as there's now a drive-through for Barty. That's 2 on the day, Patty.
Well, it definitely looks like your prediction of 4 drive-thrus is definitely more likely coming through than my 8 drive-thrus. But of course, there's still a long way to go, so everything can still happening.
About the closest battle we have is that of Gerbino, Bettison.
No, it's
and
Militer and Kucharski.
Simcoe.
Militer and Kucharski going side by side to turn 2. Are they going to keep each other onto the tarmac? The answer is yes, and Militer makes the move stick, I believe. Yes.
Yes, he does.
Amazing move from Steven Militer. Man, he is feeling really confident in the McLaren today, I have to say.
Yeah, that car looks absolutely hooked up.
Definitely, when at the moment Patterson is getting closer and closer to Gabino, trying to force Gabino into the mistake like Johnson did to Hunt.
Yeah, I'm now back on the Gerbino, Bettison, Simcoe kind of conglomerate, if you will. Although it still looks that Wellington and Kucharski are kind of no, they're not. It's just the track map lying to me. But this is, yeah, I think the closest fight. Popovich, who's a lap down, just in the background as Bettison now comes into the pits to get his stop done, probably just to try and put in some clean laps that aren't in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, this track is very narrow, not a lot of long straights. So I think the undercut can be a very viable strategy today. What do you think of that, Wellington?
Yeah, really depends just if you can, I guess just get everything to work in your favor, as not for position, but the block soars past that of Flores.
But at the moment there's not really any battling going on. Everyone is a little bit on their own at the moment as we speak. Closest that we may have is Gabino and Simcoe, since Patterson choose to make a pit stop. But I think this is also the phase where everyone is choosing if they want to make a pit stop or not.
Well, they'll have to make one at some point in the race. It's just when. That's the question that is on the driver's minds. When will I make the pit stop? And I would say another question on their mind is, are they going to take tires? Oh, as Drone Lanes will now get to drive through. That's number 3.
And we are almost on your prediction, and we have more than 30 minutes to go, so maybe I can still win the predictions.
Maybe, as White is still into the pits. Wolski goes right around the outside of Sanchez, who is going a lap down. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any real battles for position. It's just at that kind of laid back phase where the drivers are just trying to get through at least the pit cycle before another big push towards the end.
Yeah, I think this is the strategy phase of Oulton Park, where everyone is trying to make a pit stop to gain some positions.
Yeah. So Bettison is the pit leader. We'll see when he comes. Oh, that's a Mercedes hard into the wall. I think that's that of Hunt. No, Hunt still has
No, it's
damage.
not
That might
Hunt.
have been that of Sam Greaves. One of the 4Q. Yes, it is that of Sam Greaves with heavy, heavy damage on the front.
Yes, his hood looks very bad, and he's making another pit stop. Yeah, the damage is too bad for him to go on a 2-stop.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for the 4Q boys. Looked like they were just slowly coming into form on the second half of the season, looking like they could maybe try and bring the fight to the Greasy Bandits cars and the black and blue racing cars.
Well, do we see? Do we? Can we potentially say that Sam Grease is succumbing under the pressure of having a championship battle?
Maybe, but
I mean, his
usually
race
it's
at
about
Monza was also very bad, and now today as well. It has not been the weeks that Sam Grease were hoping, I think.
yeah, maybe this might just be a reverse of what he has done in the past. Usually he has a kind of okay, not something to be, or not really something to hold high first half of the season, and then he just something in him sparks alive for the second half where he'll go out and battle for these podiums. But he battled for the podiums in the first half, and it seems like the second half everything is just slowly falling apart for him.
Well, whatever it is, one thing is for sure, the spark is definitely not on for Sam Greaves. It looks like someone put a box on it and suffocate the spark that he was having.
As now it's only the top 10 that are yet to pit. Simcoe is now in. Let's see, is Flores going to bring it in? No, he stays out. Millington stays out as well. But just when, if you were that of Johnson, when would you pit, Patty?
Probably when I would say P2 and P3 has pitted as well. When I'm in the lead, I'm not in the no threat. I'm just gonna wait till everyone else is pitting so I can make a pit stop as well. That guarantees me that I do not have a lot of traffic, so I can basically cruise my way back home for the factory. Depending, of course, how much fuel Johnson decides to put in his gas tank as well, of course.
We are at the halfway
Now, if I
mark.
was Johnson, I would probably pit with about 28 to 26 minutes to go. That's when the tire's going to be the freshest, the track's going to be rubbered up the most, and you could just go ahead and pit and then just push. Kaczarski,
Well,
Coates, and Petrovic
I would
all
say
in.
with the lead that he's having, and if he has enough fuel, of course, I would probably pit at around the 20-minute mark, because I believe for the fastest lap you can get a point as well.
Yes, you can.
So I would just wait as long as possible and then push as hard as you can to go for the fastest lap. But at the moment is in possession of Patterson.
Yeah, his teammate. So I guess Johnson could maybe just go for personal gain instead of that of, or looking at the team's championship. Oh, as Richie drops it. I just barely saw that.
Yeah, I saw it in the corner of my television as well, that Richie Michel, I mean Mirko Richie, my apologies, Richie Michel is his brother.
Oh, as he now taps Coates, Richie Michel, or Mirko Richie, sorry, into the wall, spins it, but just not the day that Richie was looking for. He looked extremely
week,
strong at the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Now it just seems that everything is, again, just slowly crumbling.
I mean, last week he did outstanding business for the championship fight with both Volsky and Greaves having a horrible race. But now it seems like that Mirko Ricci cannot profit from it at all.
63 of Privet. I think that's just to let that of Johnson go. No, that of Bettison go.
Well, one thing for sure is Bettison has jumped Gambino, if I believe I'm right.
Yes, I think he has.
And he has also jumped Hunt, but because that is not that crazy, because Hunt also had an incident in his first stint.
Wolski is now in, which Johnson, between Johnson and Wolski, after Bettison dropped it, it was only an 11-second gap, and just coming across the sector line or the start-finish line, Johnson had a 17-second gap.
Yeah, now with Wolski as main competitor coming in, let's see what Wolski will be doing compared to Bettison.
Kruppeljan, Millington are also in. But yeah, is Johnson going to respond, or is he going to try and maybe put that of Wolski's green? I was about to say he could maybe try and trap Wolski a lap down with how big of a gap there is.
Potentially, yeah, but at the moment Wolski managed to stay in front of Bettison with a couple of second margins, I will think. That is very much well done from Wolski and his pit crew to stay in front of Bettison, who was basically charging all the way down after he made his first and only pit stop.
Johnson stays out and traps that of Kruppeljan a lap down, so lapped all the way up to that of 10th. Millington
I have to
just a
say,
couple paces ahead.
Kruppeljan now already is P10. He did some amazing. He's doing some amazing business from starting to the pit lane.
Yeah, I'm seeing him in P11, 4 seconds off that of Rob Smith. Yeah, but again, Rob Smith on the podium. He looked in fine form in Silverstone. Just got a little bit unlucky with a couple of his bronze class compatriots. So, is this the type of bounce back that Rob Smith needs? Oh, Kruppeljan dropped it. The camera went all sorts of weird, and I just see that Kruppeljan was facing towards the wall.
Yeah, because Kruppeljan now fell back to P13, so he definitely had a little adventure going on. Let us say it like that. Well, at the moment, still Johnson and Flores are still out, but Johnson is now crossing the finish line. He is still staying out. I think he's trying to extend his pit stop as long as possible.
Yeah, maybe he is going for that fastest lap, like you said. Just stay out as long as you possibly can. Throw on a set of freshies, and just go from there.
I mean, yeah, because basically everyone who was potentially his competitor for today, even though that is a long stretch, has made that pit stop. So basically he has that whole nice, lovely clean air to go decide when he wants to make the pit stop.
Yeah, and Bettison up to P4. And depending on where Flores was before all the pit stops, we might be able to see Bettison back onto that podium even after his mistake earlier on in the race.
Yeah, and
As
massive
Flores
props for
is
Bettison. And massive props for Bettison to doing that, because after he made a mistake in turn 4, when he crashed into a wall, I did not expect him to be back on the podium, so I guess I should take some lesson from him and not give up when I'm doing my own races.
Okay.
Bless you, my man.
Thank you. Johnson now getting I think that's that of Sam Greaves. Another lap down. Johnson still not into the pits, but Bedison back onto the podium. And just now on the back of Wolski.
Very interesting strategy for Johnson. He's now basically the only one who still needs to make a pit stop. But like I said, he has free reign to decide whenever he wants to make a pit stop. Well, his teammate is very much pressuring Wolski. And basically, the black and blue racing drivers can still get a 1-2. After everything what happened, that is still amazing.
Yeah, but again, I'm just focusing on this battle with Wolski and Bedison bumper to bumper, probably closer than you parked your car last night, with how just how little of a gap there is between the two of them. As I say that, and there's about a car length and a half, but give or take.
Well, whenever there is a heavy braking zones, they are probably almost kissing each other's the cars. I mean.
Are there any other battles? I don't see any. Bedison runs a little bit wide in turn number 1, but I mean, they're on course for maybe a 1-2 for black and blue racing, which would be an outstanding result, especially since they're not terribly far out from the Greasy Bandits car that Simcoe is now in again.
Simcoe's in again?
When Johnson now brings it into the pits, he has to, even with the cushion, I feel like he still has to be absolutely perfect for his stop.
Oh, Simcoe is off, and there's now a huge opportunity for Patterson to have an overtake, I think. But no, never mind. I panicked for nothing. The gap is still big enough for Patterson to not make a move. Other than that, I think Simcoe may have pitted again because maybe he noticed that he did not put enough fuel in it.
Maybe, but I feel like that was quite a long stop, so maybe...
Side by side is going Coates and Krupelchang goes around the outside. Does he make the move stick? The answer is yes. What a move from Coates for P13. Krupelchang is falling back down to the order. And is now under threat by Dronelander. Oh nee, wait. Never mind, Dronelander is een lap car, never mind. I have to say, I love the last name Dronelander. It feels really nice into the mouth, you know.
Ooh, is that Privet that's off? Yes. Dronelander trying to have a look to get past Krupeljan. I don't think that Krupeljan is going to let him, though, considering that Dronelander is a lap down from him.
I mean, I would not. I mean, you have of course your own race to do, and if you're trying to let a car lap yourself, it will cost you only more and more time. So, I mean, it's up to Dronelander to find a perfect opportunity to overtake Krupeljan without Krupeljan losing too much time.
Well, now there's a battle with Rob Smith and Stardog. Flores just in front of this. But how is Stardog going to attack the bronze driver of Rob Smith, as there's now a drive-through for the block? That's for Patty with just over 19 minutes left. Yes, so at the moment you are spot on with your prediction, but who knows if that keeps that way. But at the moment we do have a three-way fight between Flores, Smith and Stardog. Kind of surprised that Stardog fell back all the way down to P10. Yeah, a little unfortunate, but as we're talking about Rob Smith, he currently leads that bronze class over Kacharski and Krupeljan. So, Rob, if you could hold on to it for another 18 minutes. Yeah, you got to be careful with that, Wellington. Like I had last week, you do not want to commentate curse in. Yes, I'm aware. I think I gave him the commentator's curse at Silverstone, so hopefully it doesn't affect him tonight.
I hope so too, Vio, because if Rob Smith wins bronze, that will be an amazing win for him.
Most definitely, but Bredesen still just on the back of Wolski, a 7-second gap to that of Johnson. But I think those are the closest fights. No, Millington is just now on the back of Hunt.
I mean, it's kind of shocking that Hunt, his pace isn't that good anymore.
Well, he does have a hefty amount of front end damage.
He did not choose to repair his damage, and of course that kind of explains why his pace fell off, because Stephen Millington is now really trying to put pressure on him.
So let's go Millington 8/10 out, Rob Smith.
Well, at the moment, Wolski and Pedersen is very close to each other. I think Wolski made a little mistake where Pedersen can now put pressure on Wolski.
Wolski and Pedersen both have those cars hooked up. They've still been nose to tail since they came out of the pits, but just when does Pedersen decide to kind of go all out and just start putting in qualifying laps, as there is 16 minutes 20 seconds left on the clock?
I mean, he still has enough time to get his tires to working conditions. Of course, let's also be honest, this is probably not a track where you want... Oh, I see someone onto the grass. I don't know who it was.
63, that of Privet.
Okay, that was one of the back markers. What I wanted to say, there's also a possibility that he just wanted to have flash tires to basically not push too much, but still having the tire advantage when he does need to push. Because he does not need to go for the fast lap, of course. Of course, it's a nice bonus when he has it, but his teammate at the moment does have the fastest lap as we speak.
As we now look back at Rob Smith, who has a 1.4 second gap to that of Kucharski, but I think Kucharski's kind of on a late race charge still with 15 minutes left.
Yes, that is definitely the case.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the case. So let's see what the gaps will be in a couple laps time. I already see that Kucharski has gained 2/10 on Rob Smith, and Kucharski visibly looks faster than Rob Smith is. So Rob Smith win in bronze will not be guaranteed with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to fight for it, as the gap is now only 9/10 of a second. So it looks like Rob Smith is about to put on his boxing gloves and defend for his life.
I mean, that is what I would do, put my boxing gloves off and fight for my life for a win. Well, Flores needs to do the same, because Stardog is really pressurizing him for P8.
Yeah, the battle just in front of Rob Smith and Kucharski.
Well, at the moment, Pedersen is also still trying to pressurize Wolski. 3/10 is the gap between both of them. And, I mean, Pedersen is really trying to make the 1-2 work for the Black and Blue Racing.
Yeah, and even with all the damage that Hunt has, he's still being able to defend from that of Millington.
So, yeah, I guess Hunt's racing ability is just strong enough to keep Millington at bay at the moment. But Millington is smelling blood. He wants to have that P6. He knows he can get it.
Yeah, most definitely. But Bettison still hasn't been able to get past that BMW M4 of Wolski. But I mean, he's already at the door. He just needs to find a way through it.
Yeah. I want to have a hypothetical question. Do you think Patterson's lack of braking abilities will prevent him from getting a P2?
I don't know. I think he's quicker than Wolski over like bits and pieces of the lap, specifically the chicanes and just a little bit of the third sector. But Wolski has him just about everywhere else. So I don't think it's really the braking performance per se. I think it's just that Bettison isn't as confident in his car and the setup as what his teammate Johnson is.
Yeah, I'm more talking about it when the opportunity is there to go for a dive bomb. I mean, do you think he can pull it off from what we have seen so far of him, or do you think he is too conservative?
I definitely think that he's gonna play it safe as to maybe try and avoid a ticket or some big crash towards the end of the race. So I think he'll stick his nose in when the time is right.
Well, let's certainly hope so, because that will be an amazing battle for P2. Let's be honest about that. Well, at the moment, Kucharski is really trying to put pressure on Rob Smith. But Kucharski has another problem going on, and that's that Sam Greaves wants to unlap himself. Sam Greaves is visibly faster than Kucharski, but like, he has to respect the blue flag rules and not try to interfere too much with the leading cars.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Rob Smith is hoping that Sam Greaves gets past and maybe tries to create like a safety barrier for Rob Smith. Maybe through one or two corners, Sam Greaves is just a little bit slower through, and that he might hold up Kucharski.
I mean, that is definitely for Rob Smith the best bet for a little bit of a comfortable last 10 minutes of the race. Because the time has gone by quickly, ladies and gentlemen. 10 more minutes to go before we can have our official winner of today's event.
You know, Wolski and Bettison. Seems that Bettison has just fallen off of Wolski. Now the gap is now at 1.1 seconds. But Millington also still just on the back of Hunt. But even that gap is about a second.
Well, it seems like that Hunt's racing ability is making the difference between the fight between him and Middleton. But that's also, but I'm also curious how long Hunt's car.
Simcoe and Kruppeljan nose to tail. Trying to fight for the last step on the bronze podium here at Oulton Park.
That could be a very interesting fight to see which bronze drivers will be crowning themselves. Well, well, Kubajan and Simcoe are going side by side.
Down the inside, or looking down the inside. Doesn't get it there. Kruppeljan just a little bit better on the brakes. Parks the bus.
Does he get it down and under on Kubajan? The answer is no, but Kubajan is still under very much pressure from Simcoe. Simcoe really wants that last podium, last podium place from Kubajan. But Kubajan at the moment says, no, you're not going to get it at the moment. Will he go down the inside on the last turn?
Not going to look like it, just a little bit too far out. A little, ooh, quite a big snap of oversteer for Simcoe, allowing Kruppeljan just to breathe going down the slab. The gap is now 0.4 of a second.
Yes, Competizione is trying to extend the gap, but it seems like that Simcoe has the better pace of the two of them.
Yeah, but still nose to tail going into the king. Simcoe's gonna let him have it just for this. Gonna try for a better exit. Not yet there as the Mercedes of, I think that's Sam Greaves, just right there.
And Sam Greaves has to let Mirko Ricci go, because Mirko Ricci is also approaching the group of fighting cars, and Sam Greaves needs to let Mirko Ricci go to not interfere, and he is doing that as we speak. So that gives a little bit of that goes the pressure off a little bit to Simcoe and Kruppeljan.
So is maybe if Richie gets close enough, only 2 seconds out from this battle, is he gonna maybe play spoiler and maybe find a way to get Simcoe past Kruppeljan as he tries to get past the both of them? As Simcoe looks down the inside, doesn't get there.
Definitely not, but at the moment we see also that Patterson has got back up to Wolski, and the last 7 minutes of the race, these two will be fighting out who will be getting B2.
Yeah, so maybe Bettison just laying off a little bit was a way for him to kind of save his tires just for this money hour.
Yeah, maybe to try to cool down his tires a little bit, because it's for British terms, it's a scorching hot day as we speak. Track temperature is 36 degrees Celsius, ambient temperature is 27.
Doesn't get there. Oh, Bettison!
Oh!
Just a little snap of oversteer, so he's gonna have to do all that hard. Again, gap is 1.7 seconds.
And I do not know if there is once again enough time to catch back up. I think Patterson now needs to rely on Wolski to make a mistake.
And just looking at Rob Smith, he has a 1.5 second gap to that of Kucharski.
Is there maybe a possibility that Kucharski's tires are gone with all that attacking on Rod Smith?
Maybe. I think Rob Smith was just, again, trying to save his tires and just have what he needs to get to the end. Simcoe again taking a peek down the inside in the last corner, but Kruppeljan has him absolutely covered off.
I mean, it will be an amazing battle for the third step on the bronze podium. Oh, Kruppeljan goes a little bit wide. That may give Simcoe an opportunity to attack. Also, with all that fighting, get Mirko Ricci into the picture as well.
Ooh, Kucharski 0.8 out from that of Rob Smith. So maybe Kucharski made a mistake that allowed Rob Smith just to breathe a little bit. But still, 4 minutes left. And probably quite a ton of pressure on Rob Smith's shoulders.
Yes, who's also
still not able to get past that of Hunt.
Yeah, are you wondering that Hunt's car may be falling apart slowly as we speak?
Maybe, but even with the damage on the front end, he seems to have extremely good pace. And I think that Millington has some rear end damage.
Well, I mean, he is squirming all over the place, so let's have a closer look here whenever we can.
Let's see. Gonna be kind of hard.
No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe his rear tires are maybe a little bit hot. That could, I think, also be.
That was my second choice. As take a huge look down the inside, still not there. So Millington absolutely wants past this wall of Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, Steve and Millington definitely trying to put the pressure on Hunt. I mean, we have seen earlier with Johnson that Hunt is sensitive for pressure. I mean, we have seen it before today.
Yes, we have, when he dropped it a little bit earlier in the race, but Bettison, he was 1 second behind after he dropped it. Now only half a second behind that of Wolski with 2 minutes to go. Really excited to see how hard Bettison is going to drive, as we see Popovich with his second drive-through of the day.
But that means we are on 5 drive-through penalties. As we speak. Come on, we need to have 2 more at least so I can win my predictions. But anyway, personal glory aside, that's not what matters today. What matters is who will getting P2. Is it Wolski or is it Bettison? Well, for all the football lovers, I heard a little birdie saying that Argentina has beaten the British squad. So for all the English squad, for all the English fans, I am terribly sorry to hear that. For all the Argentine fans, congratulations with your spot into the final.
Rob Smith still now the gap is back up to 1.1 seconds between Rob Smith and Kacharski. Still with a minute, about 90 seconds, give or take, left to go.
Yeah, so I think the most interesting battle is the one for P2 between Bettison and Wolski. Those two are very close to each other. It's clearly that the Bettison has the outright better pace compared to Wolski, but he cannot use it to have a look down the inside, for example. Maybe the blue flag runner of Sanchez can help Bettison a little bit.
He runs well wide, lets both of them past.
With 45 seconds to go, this could potentially be. Well, this will be probably the second to last lap, and of course, we have not seen Johnson after Hunt crashed out of the race, and Johnson has managed the gap with 12 seconds to Wolski. I mean, what a race for the black and blue racing driver. All the glory last week went to Bettison when he beats Johnson, but today Johnson is the big driver of the black and blue racing team.
As Johnson is going to be close, I think there's going to be just one more lap. Yes. So as Johnson takes the white flag for the last lap, only has about another minute 30 left for him to claw. As Richie is
Johnson
now back into the pits.
Johnson kind of pulled my pants down with that. I'm fully confident saying that he just crossed the finish line. Well, he decided, nope, I'm going to do one more lap.
But this kind of does work out for his teammate. Maybe Wolski ends up making a mistake and allows Bettison through.
Maybe so, but like Bettison is like 1.1 seconds behind Wolski, so that is probably the battle over. Well, the battle is not over between Hunt and Millington. Hunt is really close to Millington is really close to Hunt. And you really gotta wonder that if Hunt's car is now falling apart because Millington is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Hunt. Well,
yeah,
at the moment, Johnson has 2 more corners to go before he can finally finish the race.
Ooh, Millington tries to go around the outside, doesn't get it done on Hunt. But
And
as we
Johnson
look to
is
the
now,
leader,
yes.
Johnson takes the checker flag
The leader has finished the
to
race.
win. Wolski able to defend off that of Bettison for a P2. And then quite
Yes.
a quiet night for that of Gerbino. He's going to bring it home in P4.
Definitely a quiet night for Gabino. Oh, I think. Oh, wait a second. Ross Smith has lost the lead in bronze. Kachaksi now leading bronze. We have completely missed that.
Yeah, I didn't see the timing tower update, but as they now
All I
cross
saw
the
when I switched
sector
to Rob
line.
Smith that he was having an adventure onto the grass. So I think Rob Smith lost it and Kachaski is profiting from Rob Smith's mistake, which is heartbreaking for Rob Smith. But well done to Kachaski to win to win the bronze championship today. I mean, not the championship, the race for the bronze championship.
Yeah, so Kacharski wins, but still, it's a podium for Rob Smith, a well-deserved podium. He almost had his time in Silverstone, but just got caught out by lap traffic, but able to bounce back this week for a podium.
I'm very curious what Rob Smith has to say after he loses the lead on the last lap of the race for the bronze win.
Yep. And last car across the line should be that of White.
Well, White decides to go into the wall before he's finishing the race.
And that should be everyone. Yes.
Yes, that is everyone who crossed the line. White just is the last one who did it with 14 laps down.
So just gotta wait a little bit for some of the drivers to join us here in the comms box.
Yes, because for the main podium it is Johnson, Wolski, and Patterson. Amazing results once again for the Black and Blue Racing drivers. Not quite able to get a 1-2, but a 1-3 is still amazing. And with Wolski in the Constructors Championship having damage limitation for the Greasy Bandits. And we have now the drivers are all coming in with Rob Smith and Wolski joining us at the moment. We are waiting a little bit, I think, before we know for sure that anyone else will be joining or not. But Wellington, what do you make of this race today? What do you think of the race?
I thought it was pretty solid for just a little bit of chaos that we had, but I think for driver of the day, I really just have to give it to Rob Smith. Kind of quiet, and then just appeared out of nowhere onto the bronze podium. Then for silver, I might give it to that of Millington. He was a little bit further down the order, but just able to really bounce back.
Yeah, my driver of the day is Johnson. I mean, he is the only top driver, in my opinion, that did not make any mistakes in race 2. And I mean, he's the deserved winner of the day and my deserved winner of driver of the day.
Okay, as we are now joined in the comms box by Wolski, by Coates, Wolski, Smith, and Kacharski. I think I'm going to start off with that of Coates.
Kacharski, can you mute your mic? We get a lot of feedback from you.
So, Coates, we saw that you had looked like it was going to be a solid night, and then we had seen you make just a couple of mistakes. So, just kind of walk me through the feature race.
I absolutely slaughtered my tyres. I abused them from minute one. I pushed as hard as I could round there. I absolutely love that track. Love it. It's brilliant. It's such a fast flowing challenge, and it's so hard to overtake people that you have to just push. So I cooked my tyres. I absolutely cooked them, and they were done by the end. And someone went off into between turn 1 and turn 2, and it totally put me out of rhythm. I was like, "Well, what's happening here?" But yeah, no, great night. I'm absolutely delighted with race 1. It went really, really well. It's nice, and delighted for our team as well, because my teammate's in here, so he's done a great job too.
Okay, and we're gonna head off to that of Crupplejan P3 in bronze tonight. And we saw just, I feel like this is about the third week in a row. You kind of just appear out of nowhere, it seems. Like just a little bit further down the order, and then all of a sudden we're talking about you with about 10-15 minutes left.
Hello. First of all, congratulations to silver, the winner, and to bronze winner on first and second. Yes, like in the start, I was pressing drive, and just in when timer goes off, then I'm in the box because I don't know why, and I'm just like, come on, come on, come on! I wanna go on the track. I wanna overtake people, and I was like in my the racing zone, not in my mind, and just go and overtake like every driver.
Yeah, just another solid and consistent night for you, and I feel like you have to start thinking about maybe a bronze championship. I don't know what the
Yeah.
points difference is between you and Stapley, but I feel like you have to have that in the back of your mind at this moment.
Yes, of course. Now between me and Staple is like 3 points, and I think today it will be a little more because in the end of the season, I will take that first place in bronze championship.
Absolutely love the eyes on the prize. So we're gonna just slowly work our way through that of bronze. So gonna speak to Kacharski next, the winner of the bronze class.
Yes, I'm here, guys.
So it kind of seemed like that you had again just a quiet night, very very relaxed. We saw you battling with Rob Smith, and I would say the last half hour of the race after you guys had major stops.
Yes, I'm wet in my rig right now. That was good. Very nice battle between us, and I'm really happy. He make some mistake on the last 2 corners, I think, on the last lap, and I win. I'm really happy. It's my first win in sim racing. That's really happy for me.
Well, congrats on that, and then I'm gonna save the best for outright last. We're gonna jump over to that of Wolski. And Wolski, just another not yet the bride type of moment for you tonight.
Stop it now with this bright shit. Yeah, I just started P6 if I'm correct, and finished P2. I don't know how after all the adventures that I had.
Yeah,
But,
you looked
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say you looked
I-
extremely consistent just the whole night. Just kind of got your head down.
Yeah.
You had a little bit of pressure from that of Bedison, but
Well, yeah,
still
yeah.
just
I mean,
able to kind of defer the pressure.
Yeah. I had a huge pressure from behind from Richard, but I sustained it, and I'm happy on P2. Luckily, it is quite narrow track, so it's not many places to overtake. So I think I was able to hold him behind, and I also make some mistakes. But the pace was decent. So yeah, I'm very surprised that I ended up on P2 after spinning, after crashing, after a lot of incidents and a lot of going off. So yeah, I'm pleased.
So, had this been a 90-minute race, do you think that Bettison would have been able to pass you? It looked like he was just filling up your mirrors almost the entire race.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? 90 minutes would be. I would have quite a puddle after behind my sim rig. So yeah, it was sweaty because it's very humid up here. So yeah, great fun and thanks to Richard, great stuff. We have to show it to Tyler. And yeah, great stuff.
If
Now we're
if
gonna.
I'm allowed to also ask one question to Wolski, of course we all know that you are fighting for the championship in silver, and with Greaves and Mirko Ricci all both having a horrible race. How do you looking at the chances of you actually getting the championship?
Yeah, of course the chances are there. I don't know how many rounds are left. I have one poor round, so we'll see. You know, last season, Steven was leading up to the second to last round, if I'm correct, or maybe third to last, and then Gary won it. So you know, keeping my head down and just trying to finally win the race, guys. Yeah. Sorry for my language, by the way. I'm just tired.
And now we're gonna. Probably what Matt would have done, save the best for last. Rob Smith. Yes, you can, Matt.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've not heard me all night. I've been in beef and Patrick's here, but I feel like as good a job as they've done all night, I feel like I need to take this one. Rob. I don't know. You're probably more emotional than I am right now, but what a night! P1 in the sprint, P2 in the feature, if I'm correct. Cracking night of racing from yourself.
I think it's P2 in both. To be honest, I should have had P1 for the feature race, but I had tyre pressure issues on both left-hand side tyres. I went into Island Bend and it just slid off track, so lost first place, unfortunately. But yeah, it was great night racing. I hate the track. Absolutely, it's the worst track of the game. So I just concentrated on getting a car that was consistent and that I could just keep plodding around and not go off track, really. And yeah, worked out really well.
Yeah, it worked out really well from you. It's a track, really. It's a bit like Monaco, but without all the barriers around it, isn't it? It's quite easy to, when you get in a position, hold on for that defensive drive, which you managed to do tonight. The Nissan's not an easy car to tame. We know that the Nissan's one of the older cars, but you've managed to do that perfectly tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty good across the curves in the chicanes, which was helping me a lot with people catching me around through Island Bend, and I was going through the chicane and managing to pull away a little bit more there. So yeah, it was a good night. I really enjoyed it. Very, very hot, but yeah, glad to be on the podium and just looking forward to more of them to come, hopefully.
Yeah, more of them to come, hopefully, for yourself. Next week, we head to... Where are we next week? Nürburgring? I think we're at the Nürburgring next week. I'll have a quick look on Discord. Either way, next week, wherever we're at, what's your thoughts going into that one? It is the Nürburgring. What's your thoughts going into that one? Back to the 90 minutes format.
I actually am preferring the 90-minute races. So looking forward to get back into that. And I do really like the Nürburgring. So get some practice in between now and then and hopefully have another good result.
Indeed. Well, Rob, on behalf of all of us, congratulations on the podium, mate. It's great to see you on here.
Thank you very much.
Beef, I'll hand it back over to you.
Well, I think that rounds up all of the driver interviews. Yes, it does. So join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. British time for the Pro Series as they tackle Oulton Park. And you'll be joined by Matt and I think that of Tanner Kneebone tomorrow night. So from all of us here at SimPlay, have a good one.